Hey guys, welcome back to another brand new video. The project we're going to talk about in this video is called Strato. This is not on the blockchain. It's also not an NFT project. This is also not a stock. Although it is a digital asset that involves all these functions, but it's unlike something that we have ever seen before. We always dreamt and we always imagined that there could be an asset whose price always go up. It never drops. Whenever it is traded, it always go up because which is not something that happens in reality. Whenever we trade with crypto or with stocks, we know that whenever it is bought, the value goes up. Whenever it is sold, the value drops. So far, there hasn't been a single asset that existed in which people just like keep on buying it, because if people just keep on buying it and no one is cashing out, no one is making a profit. So this is something that we all understand and accept, that people buy a token, people buy a cryptocurrency or a stock, and they also sell it to make a profit. That is what trading is. But in Strato, they have managed to create this digital asset that always go up in value whenever it is traded. And in this video, we're going to talk about how it is made possible. Like, it's not a crypto, it's not an NFT, it's not a stock, but it does have all the characteristics of being a stock, of being a cryptocurrency. It's actually more familiar with the NFT itself. So what is it that they're doing that they have developed this, not only an idea, but they have actually implemented it to create a digital asset that always go up in value? So we're going to find that out in this video. Make sure you keep on watching, because of course we're going to talk about how we can benefit from it as well. So for all that, make sure they keep on watching till the end. And as always, anything that I'm going to say is not going to be an investment or a financial advice. So always do your own investigation research. And with this out of the way, let's get right into it. Now, here we are at the official website of Strato. I'm going to go with the proper introduction on what Strato actually is. So as said, this is the first ever digital asset whose price, whose value always go up whenever it is traded. So Strato is a cyclic, centralized, and a strategy marketplace on which the Strato digital asset exists. Now, unlike other cryptocurrencies, the Strato digital asset, it only exists within this centralized marketplace. It does not have any value outside of it. It only exists in this marketplace. Now let's go over the explanation on how the value keeps on going up. So this is a marketplace. This is a digital asset that exists in this marketplace and cannot be traded outside. It only exists in this. What's happening here is they have a, as I mentioned in the introduction, and this is a cyclic marketplace. I'm going to show you guys the cycle so we can have a better understanding of this. So this is the whole cycle that exists in which the normal trading starts. The Strato digital asset, it has a minimum floor price that is of $1, below which it cannot be traded. It can only be traded above this level. So people buy the Strato digital assets from the offer queue. That is kind of like a place in which people who have Strato digital asset, they offer up their assets. They're like, I'm gonna sell this for this amount of price, which they are free to set the price, but there is a minimum value that they have to basically set the price above that floor value. They can actually set the price equal to or above the floor value, and then they place it in the offer queue, and anyone who's interested, they buy that asset from there. The trick here is that if one person, let's say person A, sells Strato asset on the offer queue for the floor price is $1, and the rule is that you cannot set the price below this floor price, so you have to increase it. So let's say the person chose $1.1 for it and it sold, someone buys it. Now the next person, let's say person B, if he or she wants to sell their Strato asset, they have to set a price that is more than what the previous price was set by the previous person who sold the asset. So the price before was $1.1. Now it has to be more than that. So that'll be $1.2. And then whenever someone else sells it, he or she has to set a price that is more than this, and it goes on. So in this case, people are buying the asset, people are selling the asset, and the asset keeps on going up and up in value as people are trading with it. Now, one thing to note about the offer queue here, that it is a sell side economy. Generally, we have buy side economy, in which we have the demand and the consumption of product or asset that drives its value. So if it has more demand or more consumption, its value is going to go up. Now, in the offer queue, as said, this is a sell side economy. So in this, the emphasis is primarily placed on the selling side of the market, and that determines the value of the asset. So if there's more selling, there will be a higher value of asset. So in this case, it keeps on going up. But of course, it cannot always go up. There's a point when it has to stop, when it has to, come down, because it may reach at a point where people can't even afford it, right? It cannot be, the value should not go that up, because at some point when it becomes too expensive, the demand will reduce. People will not be willing to either to buy the asset at that price, or maybe the people have bought too much of it and the supply is really really less. So if the demand reduces and if the supply reduces from a particular threshold that they have set, which it triggers a reset in this whole marketplace. What happens in a reset is whatever the price on which the asset is trading in, it is brought down to the floor price, that is of $1. Now, of course, people who were holding these assets at that time when the reset happens, they go for a loss. So just like in cryptocurrencies, we have points of entry and we have points of exit. You really have to time your entry point and your exit point. If you do not time it well, you will go for a loss. So as I said before, all of those functions apply here. The demand and the supply function, the exit and the entry point, all those apply here. So people who are holding onto the assets, when the reset happens, they are basically penalized. And let's say if one person was holding 10 of the Strato assets, the percentage is that he or she will lose 2 Strato. So if he had 10 after reset, he's gonna have, or she's gonna have 8 Strato assets. So this is kind of like a game also, in which you do make a profit if you really time your entry and exit point. So if you take a look at the cycle, normal trading begins. It reaches a point, because the value keeps on going up, it reaches a point when either the demand is reduced to a lot and it reaches a particular threshold, or the supply is reduced. In either case, a reset is triggered and the price gets reset back to the floor price, which is of $1. And there's an asset penalty, which is just told you guys that if a person was holding 10 Strato assets, he or she will now have 8 Strato assets. And then the trading resumes. It resumes from the floor price. People start buying and selling it, and the value goes up again and again, and it goes on until the next reset happens. And it stays for just 1 hour. So in that particular 1 hour when the reset happens, there is no trading, and afterwards the trading continues again. So this is how they have developed this cyclic marketplace. Now we can use certain strategies, certain theories or notion. We can apply this to the situation that we have, this marketplace and the digital asset that we have, which can yield positive results for us, and it's actually make it more interesting. So you probably have heard about the notion of Prisoner's dilemma, or the game theory, which is actually a branch in the mathematics that analyzes strategic interaction between rational decision makers, and they classify them as cooperative and non-cooperative strategies. In the cooperative strategies, we basically have people that cooperate and collaborate with each other to achieve mutual benefit. And then we have non-cooperative strategies that focus on the individual's self-interest, and it often involves competition and strategic moves to maximize personal gains. Now, one relevant concept here is the concept of strategic pricing that actually applies here, especially in the offer queue. In this case, sellers are strategically setting the prices higher than the previous seller so as to maximize their own gains. This can be seen as a strategy to capture a large portion of the market value for their Strato assets. Now, another concept that can be relevant in is market dynamics and supply and demand. So as the price increases, because the sellers are setting the price higher, it can create an incentive for new sellers to enter the market and offer their Strato for sale at even higher prices. This can continue, of course, until they reach a point when the supply of Strato is reduced, or the demand increases, and at that point the reset happens, the value is brought back to $1, and the process, it starts over. Now, of course, for these strategies to work, whether people will cooperate with each other, collaborate with each other, or compete with each other on this, the community needs to come together. It's actually really, if you think about it, it's actually some really fun and exciting and engaging as well. And they are, creating that community. They're building that community on the Discord, which I'll suggest you guys that you join. Of course, the links will be provided to you guys. So make sure that you join that, because you'll be getting the most unique experience in this that you won't be getting anywhere else. So if you notice what I said, that the value of these digital assets, they only go up in value when they are traded, which is true. Whenever they are traded, whenever they're being traded, it goes up. The value only drops when the trading stops and they reset the value, which is really essential, because if it keeps on going up, people who are joining in newly, they will never have the opportunity to buy the assets, because they will be really expensive. So when it is brought back to the old price, on the floor price, there will be newer people that will come into it. They'll have the opportunity to buy these assets, and then the trading will continue again. And you will have all sorts of parameters to play with. Of course, all these strategies are involved in this, just like in cryptocurrencies, just like in stock, just like in NFTs, in which we have the functions of demand and supply that define what the value of the NFTs are going to be. Now, just like blockchain, we have complete transparency, and we also have complete security. The payment processing, it is done by a third party and not by them, that ensure that it is completely safe. People, their funds are safe. When you create an account, you do that through the help of Google Authenticator, which is much better than the two-step verifications. So I'm going to show you guys actually how you can sign up. I already have signed in, so if I'm just going to sign out, I'll show you guys the dashboard as well. So you're going to click on sign up. You put in your first name, last name, email address, password, confirm password, choose the reason why you're choosing this, and then click on I agree to this, and click on sign up. It will send a code to the email that you provided. You're going to go over there, you're going to put that code here, and once you verify, then you're going to download the Google Authenticator app on your mobile phone. There will be a QR code that you need to scan using your Google Authenticator app, and it will give you a code on the app. You're going to put that in, and that's when you can sign in. Now, I just logged in, and this is the dashboard that we have. Now, we are early, so this is about to launch, so the trading has not begun yet. So this is a good opportunity that we have right now, because when you sign up and then you sign in, you get 5 of the Strato assets. So actually, if I open up the notification, it says you have successfully completed Strato Marketplace onboarding and have been awarded 5 free assets for joining during startup mode. Now, this is a mode in which people are basically joining in, and they need the asset to begin trading. And then when they do, this is the offer queue, in which people are going to basically put up their Strato asset for sale, and this is where people who wants to buy it will be able to buy it. Now, here we have the market parameters. So the minimum ratio 0.1, maximum ratio 5, threshold 100, maximum buy 25, maximum per price 3, maximum sell 25. Now, for all these details, like what does the minimum ratio means, what the maximum ratio means, the threshold, and so forth, we have documents which have complete information on all these things and how everything basically happens. So in the documents, you can see all the modes that they're explaining here. We have the startup mode, which we are currently entering in which people are being given, like myself, 5 Strato assets to start with. And then there will be normal mode, in which we will have the offer queue, in which people are going to buy and sell the Strato asset, in which the price of it is going to go up and up. And then there will be a marketplace reset that will occur, and the price of the asset will go back to the floor price. Then there will be a pause mode when there won't be any trading. This will be right immediately when the reset happens. And then the next one will be a sell-off mode. The sell-off mode is kind of essential. It is to increase, when there's really less supply of the Strato digital assets and they need to put in more into circulation. This is where it happens. Now in this mode, the market maker, they create new assets and they sell them to users at a fixed and a lower price, which is an incentive for people to buy it. And then there's like more Strato digital assets that are put into the circulation, and that increases the overall supply. And these will be the market statistics. Like we have the last peak price, so we'll have an idea on when the reset happened before, and that'll help us kind of like predict on when the next reset is, so that we sell our digital assets before the reset happens. And then there's number of total Strato, number of trades, Q length, market price, and Q maximum price. And there's other parameters which are mentioned right here, like the minimum ratio and the maximum ratio. And here they're explaining what these ratios actually mean. And these are really important for us to understand how this whole marketplace works, so that we can make an informed decision on when to enter and when to exit. And that is how we will be able to maximize our profit net. Now we have understood the entire marketplace completely. It is safe, it is secure. There's a lot of information, a lot of which that I didn't share with you guys, just so it doesn't get too complicated and too overwhelming. But we have all the information in the documents in the website, so make sure to check this out. I'll give you guys all the links. I'll be in the description. Right now we have the amazing opportunity because we are at the startup mode. So whenever you register, you will be given 5 Strato as a gift, as a kind of like a reward for you to start with it. And during this time we also have the option to invite friends and other people who will join in, and we will be rewarded with it. We will get more and more Strato assets. Now the referrer that we have in the referral system, they get additional free assets for referring friends, and they can provide their unique referral link to invite their friends, or they can use QR code so that the people that they're referring it to, they can easily scan that code and they can directly register using their link. So in using this, you can get, if you are referring your friends and other people, you'll be able to get free additional free assets. So I think this is a really good opportunity. So this is another way through which you can benefit. And then when the trading starts, we'll be able to maximize our profit. We'll be able to make a decent income out of it. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity that we have, that I think we all should consider looking into and trying it out. This is something that we have never seen before. So I'll advise everyone to come and take a look at it and give it a try. Again, there's a lot of information out there which couldn't possibly be covered in a video. So all of that is in the documents on the website. So make sure that you come here and check it out. And still, if there's something that you don't understand about this, you can comment in the comment section and I'll get the answers to you over there. So yeah, this is all of you guys in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned.